Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix. Sileo, Tales of a New Dawn. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it for free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the news version earlier, you can go to Patreon, which is $5 a month, $54 a year. So, on the last Let's Play, we got to the hot springs and got naked. That's pretty much all there is to it. Sometimes I'm like, maybe it's just this route. I don't remember Diego's route being so long-winded, I guess. But it feels like for this one, it's like, we have one scene. It lasts 45 minutes, and it's like, I'm getting tired. Please, give us context. Just one bit of it instead of context, and thinking about that context and how other people would feel about that context, and reliving that context, and going back in time for said context, and blah blah blah. It's like, come on, man. I mean, I joke, but it's also kind of like, yeah, maybe it's because I've been trying to mainline these things. Because, like, I've mainlined Echo, and then I mainlined Chemo Coliseum, and then I mainlined this, and, like, I don't know, just, I feel like I'm like, need to breathe for a hot minute. And anyways, enough of complaining. Reset face. And begin. Welcome back, dudes. Is everything like gravy? Gravy? Yeah, we're good, if that's what you're asking. I think it's a good time as any that we get wet. Do you agree? Yeah, I want to get moist. Yay. Rad, dudes. If there's no the sound... What is happening on my phone? Get like a ton of text messages. The sound of a canvas bag thrown to the floor captured the collective attention of our newly reunified group. With Axel and Russell already facing the sound, both Dom and I spun in place to ascertain the source of the sound. It seemed as though we had company. Before us stood a polar bear, similar in size and stature to Diego, yet quite substantially more threatening. His sour expression did little, however, to offset the impact of his bright pink tank top, a choice of attire which made him almost seem cute and cuddly. Hello. I'm becoming naked. Is he naked? I can't tell. Looks like there's something underneath there. Paying her presence no further mind, the bear immediately began to undress. First his shirt, probably followed by his pants. Show the heartbeat. Only a pair of snow-white briefs remained, almost impeccably camouflaged against his matching foy. I was transfixed, almost incapable of averting my gaze, as my heart began pounding in anticipation. Slipping his son beneath the elastic, they followed his hands as they descended to his feet. Bear dick. Or polar bear dick? I was in total awe. Geez, you are hella gay. In direct contrast to his creamy white fur, his distinctly thick and deliciously meaty cock presented a smooth gradient to his coat, as his coat gradually thinned, ending in a head so delightfully cherry pink that it closely matched his recently discarded shirt. His figure was decidedly rotund, yet tastefully accented by an impressive foundation of musculature, and his flawless and silky coat was reminiscent of freshly fallen snow. In spite of all his seemingly mismatched magnificence, this wonderful bear's finest and most striking attribute was, without doubt, his bold and unmissable aroma, a potent, firm scent, yet irresistibly smooth, akin to freshly cut timber in the pouring autumn rain. Do men sometimes smell like that? I don't know. I haven't smelt many men. Like a strong coffee, emboldened by hints of hazelnut and cinnamon, and blended to perfection with a full, fat cream. Like a... Where did he go? Wait, where did he go? You were staring at him. Are you alright? You look like you've seen a ghost. Oh, with a What the fuck is happening there, everybody? With a coat so pale and pure, he could quite easily have vanished like an alluring yet elusive phantom, obfuscated with the blowing steam which rose like smoke from the water. Of course, I was not prepared to see him go quite so soon. For in those moments, a singular, crucial detail had taken up residence in the forefront of my conscience. The detail promised to throw wide the many doorways through which I might proceed in stalking this newfound obsession of mine. And what, you ask? What said detail? It was merely the consideration that I was now a man unshackled by a romantic obligation, an agent of amorous associations, a mutinous mercenary of lust, without allegiance to anything or anyone, bar my own selfish desires. This game likes to be long-winded sometimes, I guess. And with that, without for further contemplation, my prey had been chosen. Yet not by any thread of conscious will, or any tangible logic or emotion. Instead, I gave chase, fueled by an insatiable predatory hunger, by unbridled primal lust. And, if he and I found to be the same mind, I would feast upon his rich delicacy, adrift in his broad, heady aroma. Heady? And there was nobody left who would stand my way. Question mark? Adrian, snap out of it. Huh? You okay, my dude? He's, lost you there for a bit. Oh, sorry. I, got a little lost in thought there. Russ told me about what happened with Ty. Sorry if I meant to keep that, a secret, my dude. It's just, you've been acting totally strange all day. Axel picked up on that. I didn't know what else to say. Oh, that's okay. I just told Dom, so I guess we all know now. I didn't want to bring it up. I guess that you probably didn't want to think about it, but you just were, huh? Just were, huh? Interestingly, I hadn't been, but I was nonetheless thankful for the flawlessly timed callback to reality. In the immediate aftermath of such a mental escapade, it helped give me perspective on the absolute lunacy of my own train of thought. I knew not even where to begin when it came to making sense of what I had just thought, what I had just felt. It was entirely unlike me, and yet it drew immediate parallels to the night of the camping trip, to when we had ventured away from the group, to when the hunt began, and to when I captured my prey, bound and vulnerable on the forest floor. It sent sudden shivers up my spine, and any possibility of mercy was soon extinguished by his defiance. And then, in Ty's company, it all made some kind of strange sense. But this time, made none. The subject was a total stranger, an onset of so rapid obsession, so relentless. Even now, my actions made zero sense with the benefit of hindsight. The inexplicable pull remained, dulled by the reason and restraint, but then nonetheless so frighteningly potent. I could not begin to make heads or tails of it. What was happening to me? Had this always been part of me? If so, why was it only just begun? Its ugly head just begun rearing its ugly head? Ooh. Had Ty unknowingly disturbed the slumber of some darker side of my personality? Or perhaps he was the one who put it there to begin with. Well, this time I had been fortunate to have company that would have happened if that had not been the case. I'm sorry. I'm having a bit of a hard time to read because right now my mind's just kind of... Maybe I just need to take a break from visual novels to this one because right now my mind's just Come on, dude, get on with it. You are treading subjects and bringing up tangents of thoughts that just come out of nowhere, and I have to read all of this stuff. What would I have done? Would I have been able to control myself? So many questions, and yet, the worst part of it all seemed to be my own hypocrisy. I recalled the words I'd spoken to Dom only shortly before the arrival of our guest. I had witnessed the weaponry, and our response carried such enthusiasm that, had I not come to my senses, I would have stopped at nothing to coax him into bed with me. Perhaps that sort of thing didn't just happen in porn after all. Maybe all it took was a horny, clearly sex-crazed lunatic like me. Adrian. I think we lost him again. Oh, sorry. Don't worry about it. I'm fine. Are you sure? You don't seem so sure. Yeah, sorry for making you guys worry. I've got to ask, do you know that guy? The bear, I mean. Nope, never seen him before in my life. But I have. Oh, yeah, that's right. Really? When? Where? Okay. So, like, you know how I said coming here would be good for my bruises, right? After the fight yesterday. He did say that, yes. That polar bear's name is Logan, and he's the one who, like, gave me those bruises. Ah, I see. And Axel was there watching. I get you. I tried talking to him after the match. Wouldn't, like, speak a word to me, man. I guess he's just, like, super shy or something, huh? I don't know. He sure seemed confident, undressing in full view of the four of us. Maybe he's the type to talk with his fists instead. It's kind of weird that I'm a shy person. I will go to the gym and, like, I feel naked without wearing my wolf mask on. Not like a fully headset, but like, you know, COVID mask, but with it looking like a wolf face or muzzle. But I will, you know, drop trow at the gym or in the locker rooms easily peasily. Yeesh. He did have a lot more than just, like, talk my dude. Wait, he did a lot more than just talk my dude. Guys, can we continue chatting in the water? We've been standing here forever. Hector's right. There's no reason we can't chat in the water instead of standing naked on the shore like a bunch of weirdos. Logan's there, my dudes. If he doesn't talk with his fists, I hope he doesn't, like, join a conversation. If he does talk with his fists. I'm with you guys. Our group shared a collective nod before Russell and Axel took the lead, making their way over to the shoreline and hopping into the water. Thinking about my conversation with Dom before, in the context of everything that I had been through recently, there was something I couldn't quite make sense of. Hey, Dom, can I ask you a question? Is it about my junk again? Nah, next time I'll have Diego do his own damn research. Actually, it's probably more serious questions. They're about you and Axel. Oh? Alright, shoot. How did you think Axel feels about you? As in what? For example, do you think he views you as a friend? Perhaps he views you as a crush. Maybe even something more complicated? Why do you ask? Because something just doesn't add up. Maybe I'm just missing out on some detail, but I don't know. I'm just trying to understand, that's all. Okay, well, Axel has had a crush on me for quite a while now, but we were also best friends. I guess that's the long and short of it. That's what I thought, and that's why I'm confused, because you both are so into each other. I thought at first it was one of those cute situations where both sides feel the same way, but nobody quite has the guts to say anything. And I know that's true, at least for him. He doesn't know quite how you feel, but you like him, and you know he likes you, too. Yet, despite you clearly liking him a lot yourself, you just... Why haven't you made the move? It seems like a slam dunk. It can't be nerves. After all, you just got nude in front of him, And, clearly, you were worried at first about Russell. Worried you'd lose Axel to him. But even then, you still won't say anything. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure you have your reasons and everything. I just want to understand. So, what gives? It's kind of fun. It's like, let's get in the water. Oh, by the way, let's have this tangent about the relationship before we get in the water. My words rang out, only to travel a short distance before being struck down by the sounds of chatter between Russell and Axel, apparently discussing between themselves as they soaked in piping hot water. It was unusual for Dom to maintain such a silence. At the very least, he would typically offer some indication that a thought was in process. Yet now, he merely stared ahead, his eyes focused on nothing in particular. I continued waiting. Perhaps Dom was caught in some kind of tangent or mental rabbit hole. It happened to me all the time. Surely, I could not be the only one. I decided to speak once again, hoping to snap Dom out of whatever state he was in. Dom? Are you okay? Yeah. This question received a response, but Dom's position remained otherwise unchanged, his eyes still filled with that particular empty space across the other side of the springs. It was only when I began to lose hope that Dom finally offered some kind of an answer. It's complicated, Adrian. I don't doubt it. Did you feel up to talking about it? Wouldn't it be due? Whatever. If I asked you to tell me the full story between yourself and Ty first, what would you say? Shit. I guess it's something I'm trying not to remind myself about, and I haven't managed to make any sense of it myself just yet. There are a lot of questions that still have no answers. All I've got are desperate and broken pieces. I feel the same way about the answer to your question. It's a confusing and painful mess. I don't want to dredge it up. How? Is it like you had a bad time with a previous friend, hopeful lover or something? I'd never heard anything quite like this from Dom until this very moment. If he had some kind of complicated history, I was certain at least have heard something, even if it was only in passing. Diego and Dom had been friends for quite some time now, and he'd never said anything of the sort. And come to think of it, neither had Dom's very own best friend. Axel doesn't know, does he? No. Isn't it something he wouldn't like? Wait, is it something he wouldn't like? No, it's nothing like that. I guess I'm just scared. Scared? From where I sit, looks as though Axel has your back no matter what. He admires you, Dom, respects you. I bet there isn't a single thing you couldn't say to him. Dom sighed before taking several steps in the direction of the hot spring. Clearly, this wasn't the time or the place, and Dom was outright refusing to have this discussion. But just as when I thought the curiosity would be my undoing, he stopped, turned his back towards me, and spoke. People once said the same thing about Ethan and me. Okay, a character not in this thing, or we have yet to meet. With those final words spoken, he took his final steps, leaned towards the hot springs, before hopping in without delay, moving to a position close to where Axel was sitting, but still allowing a respectable distance between them. Ethan. Certainly a name I had not heard before. Dom had provided very little in the way of concrete information, but combined with the context of our discussion, it wasn't difficult to imagine what just might have transpired. With naught left to do but join my friends in the relaxing springs, I approached the shoreline and surveyed the available positions. From many possibilities, a single position stood out. This position was situated not overtly far away from Dom, where Dom was presently sitting, although I had no intention of pursuing our discussion further, at least not today. Instead, it was who sat directly opposite that location which served my motivation. Polar bear? It was perfect, and, with my decision made, I ease myself into the steamy waters, their almost comfortable warmth, very nearly overcoming my senses as I shifted into my position and sat myself down, directly opposite one very handsome polar bear. Dom, I've been meaning to ask, why are you always on your computer so late recently? Huh? Before we moved in together, I kept seeing you online really late. I thought maybe you left your computer on. But now we're living together. I go to pee in the middle of the night, and your light's still on. Oh, I'm researching stuff. Woodcrest history and all that. Oh wow, really? That's right. Did you know this hot spring used to be built on the grounds of an old mansion? It was knocked down a long time ago. Though, the hot springs are all that's left now. A mansion? Cool. But what's the research for, though? Oh, I could imagine the gears in Dom's head's turning as he strained to conjure up a believable excuse on the spot. I guess I'm just curious. Woodcrest will be 100 years old soon. It's just starting to look back and see where it all began. Cool. I really like it here in Woodcrest. Will you show me some of your research one day? Oh, sure thing, Axel. I'm tied up tonight, but maybe tomorrow night I can show you some stuff. Oh, no can do. I'm visiting my parents back home tomorrow. Ah, well, another time then. Oh, say hi to them for me. Oh no, if I say that, she's gonna think we're dating again. Heh, I remember that. Didn't matter what we, said to her or anything. She believed it for months. Forget I said, anything low, dude. Nothing, don't want her giving you a hard time and pulling your cheeks like she always used to. Ugh, I hate it when she does that. Totally, dude. You used to get so mad. Oh, hey, Logan. You awake over there? Me? Yeah, you haven't forgotten me, right? You gave me the right trouncing yesterday. I approached you after the fight, too, but I guess you were kind of, busy or something. Huh? I didn't, offend you or anything, did I? No. Oh, good. So, I gotta admit, I feel bad for wasting your time like that. I was just kind of fighting for fun, not really taking it seriously, and boy did it show. But it was, such a pleasure watching you perform, my dude. You're seriously incredible. I think you totally will win the tournament like that. Yeah, sorry if I'm bothering you, my dude. It's okay. Oshal's second attempt to engage Logan in conversation fell similarly flat to how he described his first day beforehand. Perhaps Russell wasn't such a great conversationalist after all. So, Dom, how's the new apartment treating you? How's living with Axel? Way I heard it. You two dudes have been trying for ever. Oh, it's been good. My last apartment didn't have central HVAC, which was rough during the summer and winter. This one does. Wrong season for right now, but excited to spend the winter all cozy. Ugh. I couldn't think of... Woodcrest is probably what, northern United States kind of thing? Or maybe... let's say northern Central Europe kind of thing? Man, I would prefer to kill myself than live in Texas without air conditioning. Heating I'm fine without, as long as, you wouldn't have to worry about the pipes bursting. But, it's too hot and too humid in Texas. For 9 months out of the year at least, and increasingly so because of global warming and all that. Nice. What else do you like about it? Well, my old apartment had a crappy cooktop that was really slow to heat and uneven. This one was a nice induction one. Heats up in a flash. The oven is good too. means I can cut back on takeout. Also, the internet is a big plus. I'm a bit of a geek, have tons of gadgets and stuff like that. The internet at my old place ran along old copper wires. That was way too sluggish for my liking. New one is fiber optic. Axel doesn't need fast internet, so I'm paying the extra to get the 4 GB connection. It's kind of overkill, but a bunch of my stuff can't even go that fast. But I'm working all these crazy hours for Lucas, so why not? I've got the cash for it. Nice. Sounds like you guys have a great setup. Almost. We've only just moved in, and we're still finding all these things we need to buy. We've got all this extra space, and plenty of time too, like just hang out and whatnot. So we're making a list of things to fill that space and time. For instance, I don't have a lot of time for it, but I like to play video games here and there. There are heaps of games that Axel wants to play, but he doesn't have anything to play them on, so he's gonna need a PC, or we're gonna need a console. Really, Ax? After all these years, you still haven't bought anything of your own? Yeah. It was kinda like when we were kids too. I had this old console. It was basically as old as I was. My parents never really wanted me to have anything more than that. Wanted me to play outside, as those sorts of parents do. Axel's parents were no different. But that was all we needed, my dude. It may have been old, but it was the best-selling console up until quite recently. Massive library of games. Most of them you could get dirt cheap. Didn't have online or anything like that. Just us, 2 controllers. Usually my parents were so cool. Were cool so long as we spent the afternoon out somewhere. Let's spend the night on it. Best memories were actually us playing turn-based RPGs. We'd stay up on our weekends and school holidays until 5 PM, just taking turns in fights. Oh, what was my train of thought? Oh yeah, I used to be a person that had a PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, but I am no longer a console person, because here's the thing. I had Xbox, and then I had Xbox 360, and I had the Xbox 360 and plenty of games on it, but then things I didn't like about it. Red Ring of Death, which made me need to buy another one, because the first one was loud, and I had to buy external fans to keep it cool, because it was optimized, so then you had to cool it down so it didn't freeze but still froze. But then I got a new one which was a lot quieter, but then I guess it was plugged in and there's a short circuit or something like that, so it never would turn on, so that became useless too. But then it's hey, if you want to play on the internet, you have to buy the subscription thing. It's great, more expenses. And then I also bought a PlayStation 3, and I got it specifically for Metal Gear Solid 5. And then I got one other game for it, and it was oh, that game when you're a lightning guy, Infamous 2 or something like that, I'm not sure. Superpowers. And I only got it for PlayStation, because it was well, I could buy it for Xbox or PlayStation, but I need to justify this thing, so I got a console for only 2 games. And I'm exclusively PC, because it's well, I can manipulate any of these games. I can get a lot of games on PC. Well, it's very much an expensive upfront cost. It's well, I can do so much with this. I can exchange parts, and also now I have it with a short circuit protector, so I don't have to worry about that. And it's yeah. Anyways, we sort of split the characters between ourselves and swapped the controller when it was our turn. This one time, we got stuck on this one boss for weeks. It was consumed us. On our lunch breaks at school, we'd try to figure out strategies. We kind of had to old school it. Neither of us had internet as kids. You can imagine how mad Matt Axe was when some kid in our class told us the weakness, especially seeing it as we were so close to figuring out ourselves. How do you guys not have internet? You're in your 20s, in modern day-ish. I could understand me not having internet, because, like, I lived in Texas for a while, and we had internet, but it was dial-up. And then we moved to a small island called Trinidad, which had worse internet. I think it was like maybe 100 kilobytes at our school, and like maybe 42 or 20 kilobytes at home. It was definitely one of those things where it's like, this high-speed modem is terribly slow. It was like, if you wanted to look at an image or go to a website, you click on it, and then you walk away to make a sandwich, you know? But, yeah. Or if you want to watch a video, it's like, hey, watching a 144 pixel video that's like a minute long, it's gonna take an hour to download. It's like, yeah. Also, you know, dial-up. So if somebody calls the house, you're kicked off. And then I came back to the United States, it's like, wait, you don't have to walk away from it? You can just click on a website and you can get to it in seconds? You can be always online? You don't get kicked off because somebody's calling the house phone? Still, lots of good memories. Oh hell. If I'm, like, welcome, I'd love to come join it, dudes. When he gets set up, I think it'd be a lot of fun. Yeah, maybe he could. Axel quite hasn't decided whether to he's getting PC or a splitting console yet. The PC is more useful, a lot more expensive. Gives us more options though. Have you got a PC? Nah, my dude, how do you guys not have PCs? But you seem to know your stuff, right? You could, like, help me pick one out. Pick one out? Please. You're much better off building your own. That way, you get one that's built perfectly to your budget, and specifically for your needs. Yeesh, build one? That sounds like super complicated, my dude. You teach me, right? Sure, but you owe me lunch. It's a deal, my dude. I stood, corrected on my previous assessment of Russell's conversational abilities. For a while, Dom had treated Russell with a degree of suspicion, keeping him at some distance. Yet Russell had managed to score a home run, finding just the right topic to get their discussion flowing. Of course, it takes two to tango. Despite still harboring doubt, Dom had quite clearly been receptive to Russell's attempt at bonding. Perhaps, if such successes were to continue, the two of them would eventually become friends themselves. Axel would clearly have been happy if they did. Looking over towards him, I noticed the expression was somewhat indicative that something was not quite right. Only seconds after, Russell turned towards Axel, very quickly recognizing himself, and leapt into action, addressing the unfolding situation. What's up, though, dude? You're not looking so good. I'm not... Axel? I don't feel so good. Ah, you see? I knew stomach for ice cream was a bad call. Aw, maybe you should hop out of the water and get some, like, fresh air, little man. I bet the heat ain't helping. Here, I'll help. Ugh. Russell climbed to his feet and began moving towards Axel, only for Dom to stop him in his tracks. I've got this under control, Russell. I think I've had enough hot springs for one day. It's probably best if I take Axel home. Are you sure, my dude? I'm, like, totally happy to help if you need it. Thanks, but we'll be okay. Worst comes to worst, I carry him a little way. He's pretty light. Alright, dude. You guys, get home safely, you hear? We will. Thanks. And thanks to both of you coming. It's such a fun time, right, Axel? Yeah. Thanks, guys. And with this somewhat scene change and us hitting the 34-minute mark, we're gonna call it. At least that one didn't seem like it was slogging on a bit. I know. Sorry for complaining, but it's just like... Sometimes I'm just like, get on with it. I'm waiting here for hours. They just need you to get on with the scene. But yeah, that's going to be the end of this Let's Play. So please comment, because I like comments. Tell me what you like, dislike, tips, as always. If you like me, YouTube and Lexi Pro. And please like, subscribe, and check out the videos epic ground. Please don't spay new animals, help control the pit population. And until next time, Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix, Sileo, Tales of the New Dawn. Not before saying if you want to play this game, $5 a month, $54 a year. Or free on itch.io. So anyways, thanks and see ya.